yeah.
And I don't know what you remember about that, but that was really.
I don't remember.
Well, that was the first invasion that they did.
Yeah.
And the Japanese were bragging that, a million men couldn't take this in a million years,
Yeah.
And,
you've heard of the country and western singer, George Morgan.
Yeah.
Well, George Morgan lived right up around the curve on the corner of State Street and Central Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
They run around with us too, and George always carrying his guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to kick him out. Augustine's gas station was down on Worcester Road, and they see him coming with his guitar, and they'd tell him, just keep walking, But what I was going to tell you, his brother was in the invasion of Iwo Jima.
Oh, really?
He got paralyzed. He got shot in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave him one of these Oldsmobiles that had the hand controls.
Mm-hmm.
Bill was one of the wild one, even though he was paralyzed. He had his wheelchair in the back seat. And how he could get out of that car, he screwed up the controls. He was drinking that night. And he got out of the car and pulled that wheelchair out. Now, he was over on East Avenue, which was probably maybe 3/4 of a mile or maybe a little farther down East Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
He rode that wheelchair all the way home.
Right.
and let his car sit there, see. Of course, they knew when they saw the hand controls.
Yeah.
And they just hooked on it and pulled it to the garage. But I've often wondered, I know George, his brother, the singer, he died. He got a open heart surgery. They did that on him and he didn't make it. But I've often wondered if maybe Bill might be lucky and live that long.
Yeah.
It's not hardly, probably no.
I was on 224 today, and I was wondering about where Central is.
Central Avenue?
Yeah, I remember your dad walking 224 supervising the construction.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think, well, where, because I was looking to see if I could see it.
Well, yeah, I can. You go up Elmwood Avenue off of Worcester Road and turn right, and the house is right up against that expressway. Mm-hmm. And they had that one listed on the map that they were going to tear it down. Now, I don't think they have yet, but that one's scheduled to go.
Really? Yeah. What are they going to do?
They're changing the exits.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know just how they're doing it, but what I was concerned about was the old homestead that where Dad and Mother lived.
Yeah. And that would have been when you were in the service, right? That's where
we lived in that house when the war started.
Yeah.
And when it comes to school, for some reason or other, I was getting nothing out of I was a senior in high school. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't keep my mind on school because of this war that started.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I couldn't wait to figure out a way to get in. Of course, I wouldn't do that today because of the situation that we're living in, but I had to get in there, and that's why I cooked up this birth certificate thing. It said I was a year older.
Yeah.
So I took it to the recruiting station.
as gospel.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And I had a friend that lived up there in Kenmore. He's the one that cooked it up. Why don't we go down and sign up for the Navy? They take 16-year-olds.
Even 15-year-olds with a 16-year-old,
Yeah.
fake.
Well, I was tall enough. I wasn't heavy enough, but they knew they could fatten me up. So, but the bottom line is now, for some reason or other, I thought I signed up for the regular Navy, and he did too. But that guy in the recruiting station, for some reason or other, changed mine. They left him in the regular Navy, put me in V6. Now that was designated as Victory and 6 months. And that's another reason why I ended up in Japan.
Yeah, yeah.
So, they took him almost immediately. And I stayed home about a week. And here, when it's my turn to go, he shows up. He didn't pass the test.
Really?
Yeah. Here I am, solo and without him. So, but that taught me a lesson that you don't really make too good of friends with. You're being transferred from one to another. I never did tell you that when we commissioned that new ship, the one that went to Japan, I went to Japan on. What was I going to tell you about it? Anyhow, I lost it. But anyhow, that was a good. I went to school, 6 weeks school in Washington D.C. in Anacostia.
Mm-hmm.
If you go across the river, there's a naval base over there, and they had this electric hydraulic school, and they were training us to maintain this 5-inch 38, and if it get damaged, we had parts on the ship, and
Yeah.
we were supposed to be able to fix it. Maybe we could have, maybe we wouldn't. Because there was a lot of lame brains on that ship. Even the lieutenant I told you about.
Yeah.